Alright guys, so me and Alex are here. We're going to explain to you how we preserve our bait. I didn't really want to make this video because there's been other videos made of it. Steve Douglas has a real good video of it. And if you guys don't know who Steve Douglas is, I highly recommend his channel. You should check it out. I'll put a link right here so you guys can go check his channel out. Make sure you subscribe to him. And this is where I learned how to do this from. So we're going to catch some bait. We're going to preserve it for future use. And all I've got right here is a bucket of water. I've got a box of kosher salt. And I've got my ice chest with a bag of ice in it. So what we're going to do is we're going to just dump the ice into the ice chest.
Why are you doing that, Dad?
For the fish.
The fish?
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, the name one. Again.
That one's a little frozen solid, so I'm going to break it up. Watch your hands. Let me break it. Alright, so we just have ice in an ice chest right now. What we're going to do is we're going to put this water in. You just want enough water that you can bury your baits inside of it. Now we're going to take this salt. Pour it in there, Alex. There you go. You got it? And we're just at a good amount of salt. There's no real measurement that I know of, but you can't have too much. Now what the salt does, is it brings the freezing temperature down. Water freezes at 32 degrees Fahrenheit, and if you add salt, salt brings the freezing point down to 28 degrees Fahrenheit. So what we're trying to do is get the bait as cold as possible or to freezing as fast as possible. So the longer they're out exposed to heat and elements, the quicker they're going to decay. So this is going to help delay the decay process and help preserve them. Salt is great for preservation purposes. So now that we've got the mix, we're going to catch some bait and put them straight into the cooler. So let's go catch some bait.
Yeah! Wash it around, now it's all wet. Right? Can we get water for it?
No, those go into the
bucket?
Yeah. So let's set these guys up.
Wait, remember one.
Alright.
This guy?
As you can see, we got some pretty decent shad, and that's what we're after. So we're just going to throw these guys in the bucket.
Drop them? Drop them?
Yeah. Got those two guys. Okay, now that we got our couple of... where are we going with them, Alex?
The ice chest.
Straight in to the ice cold water.
I call it Arctic, of course. It looks like it.
And now we want to push them underneath. Make sure they're submerged. Is that water cold, Alex?
Yeah, it's freezing.
How cold is it?
You can tell because I'm freezing. Now.
Alright, you want to catch some more? Yeah? Alright, let's go catch more. All right, this one was a good net full right here. Check these guys out. Those can go straight into here, Alex.
Yeah. Since they're next to the bucket.
Toss them in, Alex. Get them all in there. Don't be shy. They're just fish.
I'm not shy.
All right. Good job. Get them in there real quick. Hurry. We don't want to leave them out any longer than we have to.
Dad.
What happened, Alex? What happened? Let me see. You got slimed?
Yeah, by those fish.
Slimy shad, huh?
Yeah.
But they make the best bait, right?
Yeah.
Look at these guys.
Hand is freezing.
Those are some nice ones.
Except these guys.
Okay, let's get them in there. I'll help you.
My hands are freezing.
All right, we got a cooler full of them. So we're gonna go home and bag these things, show you how we bag them, and store them for future fishing trips. All right, so we made it home. We got our bait home. The only thing I've done is I've taken the ice chest and I've drained out the water. I still got the ice in there. We want to keep the fish as cold as possible at all times. So we're gonna keep it on ice until we package it and everything. So let me show you what we're gonna do. All right, so you can see we just drained the water out of that. We got our gizzard shad in there. Got a good amount today for the little while that we were out there. And here I have a food saver or a vacuum sealer, and this thing is by far one of the best tools that you can have to help preserve your bait. So what the other thing we're going to use, and you saw it earlier, is this kosher salt that we used in the water and the ice. And if you don't have one of these, stick around, I'll show you how to do it without a vacuum sealer. Second best way to do it. So let's start bagging. All right, so the cool thing about this is that it allows you to make your own bags. That's how I like to do it anyways. So you have this roll in here and you just extend it out however far you feel you need. You want to have enough room to get your fish in there and a little bit of extra room to vacuum seal it. So it's usually better to have more than not enough. So I'm going to close this here. Then you set it to seal only. You press it down and it'll melt across the bag. And then you take this little thing. My blade's not that sharp, so see if it cuts this bag. If not, I'll jump it to this side. There it goes. Cuts your bag. Now you have a sealed edge here. So what I'm going to do is take this bag and add a few shad in there. So before I add the shad, one thing I like to do is take a magic marker and put the date on here. That way I know when it was caught and when to use it. So now what we're going to do is add a few of these shad in here. And I usually put about maybe 3 of these bigger ones in here. And always keep a rag handy because these things are pretty slimy. Now before you seal it, you want to add some of the salt in here. The salt is a preservative, and it helps to keep your bait from rotting. And I don't know, there's no real amount, but I've never seen it affect the fish biting it or anything, so don't be afraid to add a good amount of salt to your bait. That'll keep it from rotting while it's in the freezer. So now we're just gonna seal it. Put this end of the bag into the groove, and then bring it down. Turn it on extended vacuum seal. Just push down and it'll suck the air right out of it. And then it seals it for you. And that's it right there. You've got preserved bait, you've got the air sucked out of it, and it's packaged with salt, so it's gonna last you for quite a while. If you don't have a vacuum sealer, let me show you how to do it without a vacuum sealer. Alright, second best thing is just a Ziploc bag. And all we're gonna do is add our bait and our salt to it real quick. So we've got some in there. Add a little bit of salt. And now what we're going to do, we're going to take a bucket of water and we're going to use it to get the air out of here. So we're going to dunk this in here so that it pushes all the air out through the top. And we're not going to submerge it so water gets in. We don't want that, but we want to push all the air out of it. And this is going to make pretty much a vacuum seal. So then you just kind of work it shut, make sure all the air gets out, or as best as you can. Air is not our friend in this scenario. Make sure all that air gets out of there. The more air you get out of there, the better your bait's going to be preserved. Okay, and there they are. And these guys are ready for your next trip. Just throw them in the freezer and you're ready to go. Alright, there you go, guys. As always, thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.